do it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show.
Just do it.
Glad you're all here on this Tuesday morning. Before we get going, got to get this out of the way. We don't normally do this, but it is my youngest birthday today. So if you see Ashton out and about, wish her a happy birthday for me.
Say
or
that
for
Canadian.
yourself, and I'll save one for herself. I've wished her one already.
If you see her oot in a boot.
If you see her rooting a boot, wish her happy birthday. If you're at Olive Garden, she works there. So
There you go.
say happy birthday to Ashton. Yeah, happy birthday, boo boo. Love you.
She ain't listening.
Ricky King, Greg Garcia. No, she's not up. Scott Tomko.
That's so silly. Yes, you there in the back row. Yes,
Yep.
I see you.
She's there. Ricky King, Greg Garcia, Scott Tomko on the podium this morning.
She ain't listening. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed. Jackie Parsons letting you know she's got
Cubes back
the
in.
cubes are back in. They restocked yesterday. You have something to share?
No, I was just
You were
gonna,
looking at your phone so intently.
I was going to share that the cubes are restocked yesterday afternoon and they're back in. So.
I'm on top of that. You know, when you're gone for what seems like months at a time, and I'm Joan Rivers filling in. Oh, stop it. Stop it. When I'm filling in, I get on top of things. Because now that you're back, you can be on top. 58 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under mostly clear skies, heading to a high of only 77. It's a pretty day, partly sunny this afternoon.
Only 77. It was barely 50 last
It's the
week.
dead of winter.
Yeah.
The dead of winter.
We will
Everything you
rebuild.
need is at Deerland Feed. Get in today.
Rena Scherer, good morning. Cody Bauman, Randy Langston, Scott Snow, Bobby Leister, Justin Glass, Marvin Mickish, Pete Strauss.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, good morning. Linda Christ, Micah Patton, Stephanie Connie, Buddy Stavanoa, Tammy Keeling, Kathleen Leininger, Sherry Jacobs, Daniel Wade White, Junior Samples.
You know, we turned off. Junior says, "Where's the intro music?" We still great friends with Mo Bandy, but we found that the music was wanting to buffer, and then the show was buffering after that. And I don't know if it's an algorithm. I don't know if Facebook does that to disrupt. I don't know if it does it on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just saying that what sounds great to us in the headphones and here in the studio wasn't sounding good for y'all. And now the sound is apparently good.
Nobody's complained about the sound.
Yeah,
So
under control.
So we're not gonna do anything to screw it up.
If it ain't broke, we're not gonna fix it.
Ryan Hopping, good morning, because we do enough to screw things up every morning anyway. Lots of hubbub, and the Dems are blowing their horns and celebrating a Texas Senate District 9 win up in Tarrant County, which is Dallas area?
Which is totally inconsequential. I don't know who the guy was. Can you look up who that guy was?
Yeah, Taylor.
Harumph.
Yeah.
So a guy wins a Texas Senate seat, and the Democrats are all excited that he won this seat.
Taylor Raymond.
But the problem is the Senate isn't in session, nor will it be before the next election for this seat. So the Democrats are all excited because Donald Trump won this area by a huge margin. And this guy won 54,000 to 40,000 votes as a Democrat. So they're saying this is signaling that Tarrant County, for example, may have flipped blue. Well, the reality is the Republican that last won that seat in 22 won that seat with 2.9 million votes. The Democrat that won this meaningless placeholder the other day won it with 54,000 votes. The educated Tarrant County voter understood this is a meaningless placeholder, and that unless the governor calls a special session, this guy will most probably, never actually walk onto the Senate floor in any official capacity. I'm sure
Other
he'll
than
go,
to maybe be sworn in.
Yeah, he'll go take a bunch of pictures and deem himself a past Texas senator. But the odds of him winning the reelection, even as an incumbent, his next election. The odds of him winning that are extremely slim. So hats off. Good. If you want to win the elections when you can't vote and screw things up, congratulations. We're proud for you. That's great. That's almost as effective as a Patty Dotson Center protest. Hi, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not.
You missed that.
No, I didn't miss anything apparently because I saw some videos of it. You know what was more interesting is because the whole protest was about ICE killing somebody. So our local Democrat Party on Sunday tried to coordinate a vigil for Alex Preddy at the VA office, which I guess because he worked for the VA.
I don't know. It's another 90-10 issue that Dems are on the wrong side of consistently.
And I believe the videos that I saw, pictures that I saw, 4 to 6 cars showed up for a moment of silence. Nobody got out of their cars. Nobody did anything.
Well, that's what they do.
I mean,
they're passionate, but only to a point.
Well, but they were so upset about Alex Preddy losing his life and the horror of somebody being killed. And again, yeah, it is terrible he lost his life, but you know what?
It's terrible he put himself in that situation. He didn't have enough sense to stay home.
Exactly. More people die falling off ladders every year than die getting involved in breaking up ICE protests or trying to get involved in law enforcement.
Yep. Casey Lynn Kemp, good morning. Yeah, I did find it interesting. I don't know if you heard yesterday, but a friend of ours drove by with his daughter, her husband, and a grandson, and they played Ice Ice Baby and were flipped off by one protester, and someone screamed F you at them. So that's just the quality, just the good quality of the caring. So, which, by the way, nice segue. I'm, by the way, the master
maybe they were emulating Alex Preddy by swearing at
Come out
ICE.
there and kick my tail light and watch how quick the 9mm fills you. The natural segue, my ADD is so alert that I say that the natural segue for the Christian left. You got this Mike Tellerico is running for
James Tellerico?
Whatever his name is. When in doubt, use Mike. Tallarico, pseudo quasi pastor, claims to be a Christian, very pro-choice, but claims to be a Christian. First sign, right? First sign that you're a false prophet.
He went to Austin Presbyterian Theological Seminary.
There you go. That says a lot. He has great hair. Looks very pastoral.
Looks kind of weird.
He's a midget. At any rate, this guy is running against, I don't know if it's the lesser of two evils, but an extreme other example in Jasmine Crockett. What a clown show she is. For the Democrat nominee. So those two idiots, James Tellerico, who is a complete fraud, and Jasmine Crockett, who is Jasmine Crockett, she of adult onset ebonics. She was a very bright, interesting, intelligent woman. I didn't necessarily agree with her politics, but I had a tremendous amount of respect for her. She was sharp. And somewhere, someone got to her, and she started going like wannabe ghetto. This is a private school educated person, a law school graduate, and a former state rep. And when she got to the U.S. House of Representatives, she went ghetto black, and it's an act. It's an act. And Peter, I don't disagree with you. He says, yeah, but Trump can give the finger to a factory worker.
It's always a yeah, but
that's just the left saying two wrongs make a right. I mean, I don't get it. We're local people. We're all Victorians. You're driving by and somebody decides to flip you off. I mean, people keep saying that we're heading towards a civil war, and it's not white against black. It's not even people that don't like blacks against people that do like blacks. It's going to be the left against the right, and the left is going to get their ass whipped. Bring your liberal friends and let's party, because the left will get their ass whipped.
I don't know. Alex Preddy was concealed carrying.
He's weak. So here's the deal. Jasmine Crockett has gone out of her way to undermine her education. I don't have a problem with people who communicate differently than me. I don't judge you based on how you were taught to speak in your home, for example. But when Jasmine Crockett, who is a highly educated black woman, now I think that she's saying, why should I conform to the way you think I should speak just because, you're white? Yeah, that's your vision of me being intelligent. I get that. I think she's trying to make a political statement. But now she's gotten to where in public forums, in her official capacity, she curses a lot in an official capacity. And she be talking like, we're going to do that. We're going to do that, man. And it's a contrived fake. It's fake ghetto. And she's playing to a demographic that can't support her election. There's not enough of them. So you've got that on one side. This is a statewide election, folks. This is not her trying to win the 4th Ward in Houston. People don't want ghetto woman representing them in D.C. as a United States Senator. We don't want a United States Senator going, man, what be that? What be that, man? It's not going to play. It won't play in D.C. So you've got...
I'll give her credit. She's carved out a political career by doing that because she saw that was the way to do it. But I think it's over because it won't fly on a bigger...
On that stage. And we said that months ago. Months ago, we said she's chasing the wrong demographic. It won't sustain her.
Well, she's in the wrong party, but...
True that. But she's not making the inroads that she thinks she is. Now, with that said, on the Republican side of that statewide race for the Senate seat that John Cornyn has occupied for most of my life, she or Tallarico, I think she'll beat Tallarico.
What is fake redneck? That's John Cornyn, who thinks he's Texan.
Right.
Every
5.5 years.
Yeah.
Every 5.5 years, John Cornyn is the most conservative guy in the Senate. Puts on the hat, talks about his great relationship with Donald Trump, and then immediately post-election goes back to being just left of center, which is a long way from Donald Trump. And again, two wrongs don't make a right. The relevance is not there. There's no relevance. John Cornyn is being chased by Ken Paxton, who has done a great job as Attorney General for the state, but has a lot of baggage.
Agreed.
He's been criminally charged. He's somewhat open about his philandering.
Only because he was forced to be open about his philandering.
He's been impeached. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a target of the left, but I'm saying that the bullseye
on the right.
The bullseye was pretty big. I think there's probably enough smoke around Ken Paxton that you should probably have some concern. Is that fair? So that said, you got Cornyn and Paxton's leading Cornyn by 1 vote. In the background is military veteran Wesley Hunt. I believe personally, I intend to vote for Wesley Hunt, because if Wesley Hunt is the candidate, I believe that he can beat either Tallarico or Crockett. I am not so sure, and pundits have surmised that Paxton versus the other two is a coin flip, that Paxton's baggage may not play well in a statewide election with the right. Republicans might
Although
say,
it's played well enough for him to be reelected Attorney General
that's true.
in statewide elections.
I think my deal is I'm in that quandary where, okay, if we,
I agree with Andrew Alvarez. Basically, Paxton has gone through what Trump has gone through. Yeah, I do think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything stuck, right? I mean, aside from the allegations of cheating on his wife and that coming to light and his marriage disrupting as a result.
Well, Zed Stewart, who I know studies these things thoughtfully, says, I'm absolutely wrong about Paxton, Brent. You're absolutely wrong. I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, but he's been charged multiple times with criminal activity. He's been impeached. He's been sent home without pay, and then the pay was later reinstated, which rubbed some people the wrong way. And he's a huge, well-known philanderer. And I'm not electing him to be my moral compass any more than I believe James Tallarico is really a pastor. I'm just saying to the voting public, I personally would rather run Hunt and know that he will beat Tallarico or Crockett than run Paxton and have Jasmine Crockett, for example, say, man, what kind of man's is that? That's a bad man's. That's what makes me anxious. I believe that those folks on the left will seek to demonize him to court the family-oriented, for example, Latino vote. That's what I think would happen. David Ballard said Wesley Hunt is the best candidate for Texas.
You know, they seem to forget that as Christians, no man is perfect, no woman is perfect.
I'm not judging him based on him being a philanderer.
No, but the left will, and there will be some on the right that will. And that if he becomes the Republican candidate out of the primaries, that will be the focus. It won't be the job that he's done as Attorney General. It won't be what he wants to do as Senator for Texas, because we all know the issues really don't matter anymore in politics at that level. They don't. The voters don't care. It's all about stupid sound bites that are 15 seconds taken out of context that one side or the other can run with.
Yeah.
And use to try to craft an image, create an image to be elected. MAGA Mays Middleton, for example.
Who has none at all endorsement from Donald Trump. All he does is say MAGA and Trump over and over and over in his ads. That blows my mind. That alone, that implication that he has some relationship with and you squint just right and he does everything but say Donald Trump has endorsed me. That alone is going to make me vote for Aaron Reitz. Fact. Not to mention the fact that Aaron Reitz came on our program and I liked everything he said. But yeah, it makes me wonder. I think Paxton might be the most effective leader. He's certainly a very astute politician. Kathleen Leininger says that Wesley Hunt still hasn't shown up to do the job that he's already been elected to do. I don't know anything about that. What is Wesley Hunt right now? Is he a state rep?
I think or a U.S. congressman, I think in
Houston?
I think so. Melissa Hanson, good morning.
I don't know. I don't know where that stands.
BJ Nelson checking in.
Hi, BJ Nelson. Let's take a quick break and we'll just talk about the fact
Brad
that
Mitchell,
BJ Nelson.
HR Mallory.
There's White Trash Services, 550-1826. If you're in any of the counties in the No Bull Network, including Victoria County, Calhoun, Frio, Hogg, B, Atascosa, Karnes City, Gonzales, DeWitt, it goes on and on and on. The folks at White Trash are inviting you to call in. You make a 1-year agreement, $25. 2-year agreement, price is frozen, $50. 3-year agreement, freeze your pricing for 2 years and make a $100 donation in your name to the local volunteer fire department in your area. White Trash Services giving back, and they're going to have the best price on your trash service anyway.
Absolutely.
Went Services for all your electrical needs. Went inviting you to give them a call for a turnkey generator quote.
Yeah, get a whole home backup generator now. Prices about where they were when I looked at them years ago.
Yes.
They haven't really gone up. You're
No.
going to have peace of mind that come hurricane season, when the rest of the block is outside using their charcoal grills, because
You'll be hosting the party.
You will be.
Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Get in and see Bobby Leon and just figure out through practical application why you just always do better at Chesnick. Bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding, Stearns & Foster, Sealy Posturepedic, all types of
Accoutrement.
nice to have you
There's
back.
a reason they've been in business for over 100 years.
Yes.
And they're still in business while we've seen others come and go in this city. Chesnick remains downtown at their second ever location.
Yeah, where they've been for 80 years.
Yeah.
Paravita Wellness and the Vita Cafe, two totally separate businesses, but both owned by Erica Briggs. Get in and get healthy at Paravita. Tell them what your macros are. Tell them I need no gluten. I need fewer carbs. I need this. I need that. And she'll just make you some mac and cheese and send you home. But you'll be thrilled with the outcomes. Your doctor will work with her. She is a nutrition genius. And then Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. Welcome back into the Atzenhofer Studios. For over 100 years, a South Texas tradition. Atzenhofer celebrating 100 years in 2026. So congratulations to the dealership. One of the oldest family-owned, single-family-owned Chevy dealerships in the country.
Deidre Johnson checking in. Here's where are all the doomsdayers who were absolutely certain, and we joked a little bit about it, but we weren't blaming Governor Abbott. But it sure seems that our power grid in Texas held up this freeze. Yeah. There's still schools up north that are keeping kids home in cold weather, which has never happened ever in the history that I can recall, where, it's too cold for kids to go to school. It's crazy how soft we've become as a nation overall. But that neither here nor there, just pointing out that I think 6 straight days, some states were holding kids out of school because it's cold. But, it's just interesting that all those doomsdayers about the grid and blaming Abbott for it haven't walked it back at all.
No,
they haven't,
no.
Or they haven't said, way to go, Texas, way to make sure the grid didn't fail us this time.
They can't wait to make it a political issue. BJ Nelson says the pastors in our state need to tell their parishioners to vote. Not tell them how to vote, but tell them they need to research the candidates and go vote. Every election.
Yep.
I agree 100%. I do not. People say, it's a separation of church and state, which once again is just the ignorance of people that spew such things.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I believe that as Christians, we are called to participate and absolutely encouraged to exert our values into the government. I don't expect the State of the Union address to be a gospel presentation, but I think the people that are speaking should be elected thoughtfully with Christian values in mind. We've said here for years, if everybody
if that was the case, Paxton would be out because
and that's fine. And maybe he should be out. Maybe he should be. But if we, as Christians, if everybody that claimed to be a Christian voted, if they all actually voted, the world would be run the way that we want it to be run. I mean, it just would. there's no getting around the number of people in this country that identify as quote unquote church going. If they actually went and voted with any semblance of Christian ideals, you wouldn't have all this LGBTQ crap, all this DEI garbage. You just wouldn't have it all. It just wouldn't be here.
J Dub checking in. Funky Trey Molina, good morning.
And I'm at that fine line where I would question the genuineness of, say, Donald Trump going, I prayed about this and today we're going to bomb Iran. I don't want to hear that. I don't, because I'm not sure I believe him. I don't need him to be the American Pope. I don't need Donald Trump to be that. By the way, another segue of sorts, somehow the president of Iran said, whoa. Let's pump the brakes. Let's negotiate a little bit.
So, yeah.
So we'll see what
now
happens.
Now they want to talk to the U.S. about their nuclear program.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah. Saw that headline this morning. That's interesting. No, I agree. And no more did I believe Obama when he said, God bless America, God bless his country at the end of every speech, because it's just not the case.
What did he try to claim, that he was like Methodist?
Yeah, something. I don't know. And I know I never believed the Clintons were Christian-like even.
Dude, they were Baptists. They were like Christians on steroids, in their opinion. And while they were killing people, and very interesting. It is interesting to point out that both Barack Obama and Bill Clinton had Jeffrey Epstein to the White House. Donald Trump never did.
Peter McNally says, Ash is different today with all kids having a laptop. Teachers can assign work from anywhere. Here's the problem, though, Peter. Then why are we building schools if that's the case? Because these kids don't learn well on their computers. Lots of studies coming out, and I'll find a couple of them at some point and reference them properly, that show that the kids that had to sit at home during COVID suffered, particularly in math. They fell behind. Well, it might be easier for the teachers to stay at home and teach from in their pajamas, on a computer screen. It's not good. It doesn't do well and it dumbs them down. Look at the kids that go to a restaurant these days. I mean, and here's the thing that's different. When growing up, we went to a restaurant like 4 times a year.
Right. They go 4 times a week.
Birthdays, and maybe one other time because we got good grades. That was it. We hardly ever ate out.
Right. Your mom was barefoot making pot pies, pierogies, cheese curds.
Wally. Tina wasn't much of a cook. She could re-kill any meat that she was cooking though. But that was the difference. And when you went to a restaurant, it was the old adage, kids should be seen, not heard.
Yeah.
And they didn't really want to see you either. They just wanted you to sit there, shut up,
and order something cheap.
Yeah. The cheeseburger off the menu at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, most Chinese restaurants had great cheeseburgers. But yeah, Melissa Hansen says, during COVID was horrible. I have 3 kids. I know.
I am concerned, though, that these kids spend a lot of time on their school assigned like Chromebooks. And there's no getting around the fact that one of the major reasons, I mean, it makes sense, right? They're going to use computers. We don't need to teach kids how to use a slide rule necessarily. But there's no getting around the fact that they're gathering information about your kids. They have a algorithm, if you will, that allows them to gather data about your kid and about the kids cumulatively. Our schools, and what's beautiful about it is I see Heather Stewart there, who's a very caring teacher. She teaches art. She's a great person. She may be exempt from this. But our teachers are quite often unwittingly part of a system of indoctrination that allows them to impart certain social mores and things to our kids in the name of, we know best. We're the teachers. We know best.
Yeah. I mean, there's video out of Oregon of a supposed Montessori school of kids of all ages. And I wasn't able to verify whether or not, but that they were out there protesting ICE. They were given signs and told to chant, and the video's there. I don't think it was AI.
Right.
But it was hard to actually, here's the problem with the internet. But I tried to find out whether it was legit, and the results were mixed. Some said it's fake. Some were saying, yeah.
But to a kid, it's real. Ricky King says during COVID, it was bad. He said, I came home, my wife and kids were both crying because they were sick of doing school online. I didn't have a problem with, you had to do something. We're seeing the results now. A lot of our athletics are affected by the kids that were home for a year. COVID was an overreach. It was bad. But at the time, without judging Biden or Trump or anybody, what do you do? I mean, there were people that, Zed Stewart says most good teachers are just trying to survive. I agree.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have followed the data right from the start, like you and I kept telling people: if you're old, fat, or sick, stay home.
We were pretty smart.
Kids weren't being affected
Since
by
no kids
COVID.
were sick.
Yeah. But no, and I agree. I think there's a place for technology. But I don't believe it's the way most kids and most people learn well. There are some, right. You like audiobooks. I've tried and tried and tried, and I can't get out of an audiobook what I get when I read it.
Right.
But at the same time, I could never sit there when I was a student and just pour through the textbook and get the information. I loved listening to a professor who could supplement or use the textbook as a supplement to the subject matter they were teaching because they were experts and really knew what they were talking about.
Right.
And a little hands-on. Some of these YouTube videos are great for some things. And that's not bad if you're trying to fix your dryer. That's when it was great because my dad wasn't here. And so I went on YouTube and found out how to change the heating element of my dryer.
Brings us to a few more of the worst selling children's books of all time.
Number 5 would fit right into what I'm talking about.
Hammers, screwdrivers, and scissors. And I Can Do It book. How about this one? Garfield gets feline leukemia. That's one. The pop-up book of human anatomy. Things rich kids have that you never will.
Epstein wrote that past book.
Yeah.
Or maybe Prince Andrew. I'm not sure.
How about number 6? Kathy was so bad, her mommy stopped loving her. These are the worst selling children's books of all time. They're all at the Victoria Public Library. I'm kidding. Don't be stupid. Most of these books don't exist. It is funny to me that at the time that list was originated back in the mid-'80s, the book titled Daddy's New Wife, Robert, was funny. Now there probably is a book called Daddy's New Wife, Robert. Interesting.
Daddy's New Wife, Roberta, in parentheses, Robert.
Right.
That's probably the updated version.
Daddy's Wife's in Transition. Yeah. Mental health issues abound.
Have any of you seen this story that's not getting, or most of you probably haven't, because it is not getting any traction anywhere. I came across it last night. Parkland, Washington, where a gentleman was getting gas and was approached by a gentleman determined to be a rather radical Islamist. And he asked the gentleman what his religion was. And the gentleman didn't want to answer at first, said he was kind of scared. But when he finally answered Christian, the other gentleman pulled out a knife and stabbed him and then stabbed his dog.
Kill him?
This, and the media is not even talking about this.
No. Had the guy been Muslim and had the guy that stabbed him been
Christian,
then it would be the news. It'd be a hate crime.
But this isn't, because
where the left gets sideways. The hypocrisy of the
well,
left.
and then if he does get prosecuted, they'll probably sit there and cry separation of church and state.
Right.
Should be a hate crime.
It can't be. Was anybody white?
There's video of this. I saw the video of this.
Was he white?
Yes.
There's no justice for that guy. Now, had he been black and gotten stabbed, it would have been a hate crime. It's amazing what a difference pigment makes in right and wrong to the left. Very interesting.
Pat Visconti knows.
He's right.
And I've talked to others that went over to the Middle East. By and large, they hated our troops being there.
Yeah, since they're just peaceful jihadists, don't worry about them. They're just here not to destroy Western civilization, but for a better life. Understand they want to destroy our way of life so that they can install their way of life with all of our resources. If you don't get a handle on it now, your kids and grandkids are going to live their shortened days in battle.
Go find the online sermons from the cleric that's trying to start this epic city outside of East Plano.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. First of all, the good news is it's somewhat against federal law. You can't have multiple laws in the state.
Well, yeah, but the cleric starting this thing, yeah,
lunatic.
Oh yeah, I mean, very much radical. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We will see. Let's take a quick break.
Yep.
You guys give us something to talk about. We're here. We're not afraid. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Get in and have a little something from the L&L Grill. Fish sandwich. They make pizza. They have a great deal. Usually like 3 slices of pizza and a drink for like $8.
We'll pick our mate Wade and Carter day here soon.
Yeah, we need to. Get in there and do it. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. If you need sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it. If you need cracks sealed in your driveway, if you need a tough as nails polyurethane coat put down in your garage that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade, you get the picture. Craft room, patio, pool, deck, they can do it all for you. Veracruz Restaurant, it's pre-caldo Wednesday, Tuesday. Today's a great day to get in, have the best queso, hot sauce, guacamole on the planet, homemade chips, homemade tortillas. Dawn won't let me have them, but boy, they're good. I have memories of the greatness of those tortillas. The office is at 205.
Right here.
JP Hull inviting you to come down. Mr. Geets inviting you to come down, inspect the facilities.
Beautiful couple of offices available.
Beautiful place, great acoustics. Come in and enjoy the offices at 205. What a great common area with the television and all of that. What do you got going on at the chopping block?
The chopping block right now. They've got their Super Bowl packs available, and if you order now, it'll be ready to go right before kickoff. Pickup will be Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5. But smoked fried wings, $30 for 3 pounds of jumbo wings. Great deal. You don't have to do any of the smoking. They've got sliced brisket at $35 a pound, whole smoked chickens for $12, pulled pork for $12 a pound. Their smoked house sausage or boudin is just $5 a link. And sticky ribs, $25 for 2.5 pounds of sticky ribs. They can provide all your sides. They've got a brisket queso available by the quart as well. So go by, talk to John.
They do a great job. Very
order.
Creative, very, they're always experimenting with new ways. BJ Nelson says that VISD had a school board training last night, and Veracruz was the caterer.
Nice.
So there you go. Good job. They always do a great job. Keep them in mind. If you need to feed 15, 20 people, they'll do a deal for your home. They'll deliver it. It's fantastic. We often do a taco bar. It always seems to be more food than we need, and the pricing by the head is extremely reasonable.
And the best part is there's really nothing to clean up because you use paper plates and plastic.
And they
cutlery
bring
and you're
them.
good.
And they bring them. And they show up in aluminum tubs that are resealable. Very well done.
Let's see. I think this is interesting because this, again, is the reason why we are veering away from China, and Canada seems to be hitching their wagon to China. Just this weekend in Vegas, a house raided and is now being investigated as an illegal biological laboratory. They say this is the one that was linked to that warehouse in California 2 years ago. Remember that one?
Yes.
Well, all they did
Move it.
was of course they found nobody, and the lab was kind of in somewhat disarray because somebody must have tipped them off they were coming. So they just loaded up the U-Haul and went to Vegas and set it up there. This one was raided on Saturday. And apparently the materials they're looking for or fear that might be used in this illegal biolab, HIV, malaria, other dangerous pathogens. I'm sure COVID's in there somewhere if the Chinese are involved.
Man.
Yeah.
Remember when HIV was a big deal?
Yeah.
It was.
And here's the thing. Apparently, reportedly, the guy that owned this house in Vegas is a guy that is currently in federal custody on charges related to the biolab in California 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So apparently he's still able to do whatever the hell he was doing in federal custody.
Yeah. The Ori Solomon, 55, who faces state charges. The charges are for improper disposal of hazardous waste.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They don't think he has any expertise in biology or is a trained biologist. He was just he was the manager of both properties, apparently. So he's just taking out the trash all the time.
FBI guy says this is an extremely complex investigation.
Yeah.
Sounds like that guy just ought to be locked up.
He is locked up and he's still doing this stuff. Oh, look at that. He's got a British Columbia driver's license.
Those Canadians.
So he came through Canada. But Canada says, no, we're good neighbors. There's nothing happening through our borders.
Yeah. Interesting. I think Trump just wants Canada to beef up their defense spending. I think that's all he's really after from them.
Yeah.
What do you think? You don't really think he wants them to be the 51st state, do you?
No, I think it's to stop crap like this from happening.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That guy looks a little Asian.
Well, he is. Jia Beiju goes by the name David He in the United States. Yeah, all these houses,
David, like he, him.
all these houses in Vegas were registered to him. The same pseudonym he was using when he was arrested in October of 23 with the illegal biolab in Reedley.
So he's a Chinese citizen who formerly lived in Clovis, California. I mean, is this a guy we need in our country?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
But they didn't. I mean, it took them, apparently the Biden administration made no connections to him and the houses in Vegas under their investigation.
Right.
Because we all know Biden was involved and in bed with the Chinese, so he probably didn't look too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Torrin Bale says, don't forget to watch the Turning Point All-American halftime show on Sunday. You know what? I'm to the point where I don't watch any halftime shows. I'm busy.
I'm not going to
Read-
watch that. I'm going to watch. If I watch anything, it's not going to be that.
I'm going to watch the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah.
By the way, Westminster Kennel Club dog show going on in New York City. Yesterday was on. It's on Fox Sports again tonight. Best of show will be announced today. All the groups were, all the winners of the breed groups were named yesterday. I think I found my new favorite dog breed, the Otterhound. Pretty cool.
I tell you what,
I would never get one because
I can't after having two, a golden doodle and a labradoodle. I really can't understand in their different iterations. You may want a miniature one. And the smaller the dog gets, you know, they always say like on a car, when the top goes down, the price goes up. Convertibles are expensive. The smaller a doodle, the more expensive the doodle. I just can't imagine having anything but a doodle anymore, unless I needed a working dog, unless I needed a Belgian Mal or a bird dog or something like that. They're just, their personalities are consistent and they're just very interesting to the point of being odd. Yeah. Torrin Bale says he's going to watch the Turning Point All-American halftime show.
Westminster, the second oldest sporting event in the United States, by the way. Behind, guess which one? Do you know?
The one in the U.S.?
Yeah.
American Kennel Club or something? Is it
the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the second oldest sporting event in the United States, which would be the oldest sporting event in the United States. Not related to dogs.
I don't know.
But it is related to animals. That's your hint.
Kentucky Derby?
Yes, sir. There you go. Way to go.
Folks, if you've never done, good morning, Kendall. There's my sweet daughter. If you've never done any research into the Muhammad Ali-esque greatness of the one and only Secretariat, I encourage you to do some delving into what made that particular stud such a stud. Yeah. There was literally, he's just incomparable. And people say that when he was retired to stud, like after like it was about his fifth year, that he would literally come out and walk out and stand broadside, keenly aware that people were taking pictures of him. Yep. And that he would come over to the fence and allow little kids to pet his nose, and he would, gum their fingers and stuff. This is not, a thoroughbred racehorse is not built that way. They are wound tight, and he would run and jump and frolic. He had a pretty good life.
Yeah. There was a great article written by a follow-up upon his passing, Secretariat's passing, by the gentleman who wrote a 3-part series on Secretariat. Longer than that. He spent months with the horse. I think for the New York Times back in the day. It might have ended up in Sports Illustrated, but basically it was following Secretariat through his Triple Crown journey back in, what was it, 73?
Mm-hmm.
And
73.
And anyway, reading, having read those stories over time and then reading this follow-up into Secretariat's post-life and passing, it's personification in a way, if we're going to use literary terms. But if there is ever an animal that was more human-like, it might only be Lassie.
Right. No, and in that same deal, and Patrick Strauss is correct, the autopsy at the time that he passed showed his heart to be abnormally large. And it's just very interesting when you hear people that are in the horse racing game. They're quite often very matter of fact about animals. Racehorses get injured, they get put down. It's just part of the deal. They talk about them much like people talk about race cars. Well, the DuPont Chevy Monte Carlo number 24 car, well, they had to put it down. The engine blew. But when you listen to a man who made his living astride a horse in Ron Turcotte.
Took a Canadian to tame this horse.
Canadian guy. But when he talks about there was concern. I think it's the Belmont that's the longest of the three in the Triple Crown, and they asked, can he win it? And he said, we need to see if he can go that distance, like a mile and a half.
Yeah.
And, he wins that race by 32 lengths.
And
It's like-
Turcotte said he tried to hold him back.
and he was tossing his head in like the third turn. He's throwing his head up like, let me go. And Ronnie said, okay, Big Red, go. And like lowered the reins and he goes, I was just along for the ride. And I looked back and we were 20 lengths ahead of everybody. He set records at every track he ran at. I think the Kentucky Derby record still stands.
Yeah.
Just the most. Now, he was part of the lineage of Bold Ruler, but in this last Kentucky Derby, every horse in the race, 52 years later, every horse in the race
had some
direct, lineage to Secretariat.
Yeah.
The genes
don't lie.
Don't lie.
No.
Sounds like a Calvin Klein commercial. Takes me back to Brooke
featuring
Shields,
Sonny Sweeney.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Cody Bauman with the trivia of the day, aside from my second oldest sporting event in the United States. Did you know that Ariat boots come from Secretariat's name?
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Because secretary boots aren't very exciting. Commander Cody will be back in Thursday. He'll be here. Yeah.
Jennifer Rayburn asking about the UIL realignments for 5A, 1 and 2.
Did you see this?
What?
West High School plays everybody over in Houston.
Where else are you going to go?
Rosenberg, Terry. Oh,
they've done that before.
And they lost.
East apparently going to Fort Bend, Katy, Pasadena. That's a little bit.
Yeah.
But but that's because of this. There's not enough schools at I guess East is 1, 5A Division 1.
I don't know. I thought West was bigger than East. I don't know.
I don't know.
BJ,
anymore.
which is it?
But here's the thing and always a hubbub about this. Always a lot of concern every year. And the concerns never really pan out. No. And we're talking, and I think this is just for football, because then they make them different for the other sports. So you're talking about kids that leave school on Fridays, maybe Saturdays sometimes. It's not like they're leaving on a Tuesday for a night game to get back
correct
at 2:00 in the morning on a Wednesday and then try to get to school.
Yeah, I don't think the travel could have been any worse than going to Bernie and Kerrville. I can be anywhere in Houston quicker than I can be in Kerrville.
Well, I remember at one time they went to the Valley.
Yeah. Patrick Strauss says he really wants to go to the Derby this year. Patrick Strauss, who no doubt now has a timeshare, at least in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. I think he's probably got like an apartment off one of the distilleries.
I think he built a flat on top of the still.
Right.
Yeah. And nobody cries when St. Joe has to travel to Texas Military Institute in Brownsville.
Right.
And then all the way to, Houston, Southside Christian or something like that to play games. Nobody cries about that.
East Southside Christian. Directional. Directional school. What is that oil merchant thing right there?
Oh, I don't know. Good question. I hadn't looked at this one yet.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Houston-based Coterra.
Coterra Energy is merging with Devon. Now, we know Devon in a $21 billion all-stock deal to create a company with an enterprise value of $58 billion, making it one of the largest U.S. oil producers.
The company will retain Devon's name, but will be headquartered in Houston. So Oklahoma City going to lose their headquarters as they move down to Houston.
Yeah.
Sucks for OKC, but
because really
Houston.
Kotevin doesn't sound good, and
Devera
doesn't sound very good either. No. So you just call it Devon.
Yeah.
Devon Energy is a big deal.
Look at that. The new entity is going to control roughly 750,000 acres in just a portion of the Permian Basin.
Yeah.
They say that
1.6 million barrels of oil equivalent per day by the third quarter. And that's the 750,000 acres will
Account for
represent
half of
that.
Crazy.
Wow.
MSNBC or MSN.com via the Houston Chronicle reporting that. So just wanted to.
Anything about NASA? Did I hear, like, are we seriously going back to the moon?
Yeah, they had to scrap that plan yesterday
'cause-
because of cold weather in Florida, I believe.
Because the Earth is flat, and you really can't.
Yeah, I don't quite get it.
Okay, I got one for you. I like to do this to you. Which conspiracy, not saying that you give credence to either, which conspiracy to you is potentially more plausible and credible? That A, we never actually went to the moon in 1969, and that one small leap for man actually occurred in a sound studio in Los Angeles, or that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't the lone shooter and that more than one bullet was fired and hit the president from other sources.
Which is more plausible?
Which one do you think is more? If you had to bet your, if you were told that one of them is true and you had to bet your life on it, which one would you say is true? That's the right way to frame that.
Did we go to the moon, or was Oswald the only shooter? That's my that boils my choices.
I'm going to go a step further.
Okay.
Kennedy was hit by more than one shooter. When his head went back and to the left, that it actually came from the front somewhere. Kennedy was killed in a conspiracy by definition and shot by more than one person, or we didn't really go to the moon. And let's just say that one of those is true. And for your life, you have to decide which one you deem to be true.
Can I pick the Earth is round?
We know the Earth is round. People have seen it.
I know, but there's enough people out there these days.
Cody Bauman, we never went to the moon. It was done in a Hollywood studio. I have a theory for that. I'll share it with you in a moment.
You know, can both be true? Can I believe each one is equally
yes, but
valid?
I'm still lopping your head off.
Yes.
Here's the deal.
Because
I can't. There are people that were astronauts who I have seen be confronted with the idea that we didn't really land on the moon. And I've seen those astronauts literally scoff and say, I was there. My feet were there, yada, yada, yada. However, I'll throw out there that number one, they were in the United States military. Most of them were Air Force to begin with, and then they were NASA. It's quite logical that they would be literally sworn to secrecy as a matter of national security. Because I will tell you this, when John F. Kennedy blurted out, we will do these things not because they're easy, but because they're hard, and we will put a man on the moon by the end of the decade, when he did that, engineers cringed. They had no idea how they were
behind the Russians.
Idea how they were going to get on the moon. The Russians already had
point.
monkeys flying around up there.
And German shepherds.
Right. Had we not put a man on the moon, we no doubt had a backup plan that would have produced a video that showed a man on the moon. That's my statement on that. I believe that they had a backup plan because the United States, in the midst of that Cold War, could not afford to fail. Kennedy had been killed. His legacy would have been tarnished. It had to go on. Camelot rules. It had to happen. Politically, it had to happen.
How did we get cameras there to capture them coming down the ladder?
Don't ask questions.
That's the one that's always
It was mounted to the underside of the lunar module.
Yeah.
But BJ, I don't disagree. Who did Bill Posey protect in the capsule? Do you remember when they used to bring the astronauts home and they kept them in quarantine? the astronauts will remain in quarantine for a number of weeks until blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
They didn't have to do that when they started going up into orbit in the space shuttle, right?
How about this? And I'll leave you with a one-word response to Ricky King, and that'll be the end of the show. He says, Brent, there were so many people involved in the moon landing. It would be like saying the National Football League is rigged. My one-word response is exactly. Goodbye, folks. Have a great day.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.